All right, this is a round 2 of the US Nation Wars adventure. A little bit more of a challenge this time. So we've got Team US, which is Raigeki, Austin, I Will Conquer, and Therxyy versus Team Germany. X Factor not showing up for his country. We're all a little disappointed in you, X Factor. But with that said, Blxssom, random variable, student of teriyaki, and Devil 37 are true German patriots, and they're going to be on the left side of the map, and Team USA is going to be on the right side of the map. So Devil has been played a lot. I think all these players are going to be quite familiar with it. We've seen it in, I believe, last year's Nation Wars. We've seen it in Omega series, and we've seen it in a lot of 3v3 events. It is an older, very, very popular map. In 5, sometimes you see the stack. Generally speaking, we're going to see how teams want to contest for these 4.0 mexes because they're such a big deal. And Team USA trying to figure out if their opponents are going to try hard or not. Austin wants to know if he needs to spread his wins or if he can leave them all grouped together to maximize the room. So we've got Austin as yellow, and we're going to see if they have slider gaming. So a little bit of a swap here. It looks like Conquer wants to take the 3 mech start here before calm walking, whereas random variable is going to spawn water and then do the normal walk. You can kind of go either way with this. A lot of times you'll see this spawn with the walk if they're going to do a slider play with a lot more co-op. If you don't have quite as much co-op involved, it's better obviously to take the 3 mechs before you're going to walk. In the middle, it's been dominated by every type of gameplay. Probably we're going to see rocket bots, although if I remember correctly, in last Omega series we saw a ton of whistlers, but that was pre-whistler change. So we're going to see how it goes. And yeah, the only real difference in the spawns is going to be the Conquer and variable lanes. So Devil is going to be spawning arm bots in this top corner to contest it. Student Teriyaki is also arm, I would assume vehicles, but I guess we'll see. Blxssom arm as well. He was previously part of the Ismith Lobsters team. And random variable with the core. Wind is amazing on this map, but the title is nice, especially if the wind is going to drop. So we've got 3 arm and 1 core on the German side. Austin with the arm open. We're going to assume bots and probably Centurions there. Raigeki arm. Therxyy core bots. All right. And Conquer is arm. So we end up with 6 arm and 2 core players. Random variable with the low to high ground lab build. Pretty common in the spot. And he's going to open 3 grunt, 1 con. Devil is going to open 5 tick, probably assuming that his opponent is going to have the lab here, but Conquer metagame that somehow and didn't have the lab there. So those ticks are not going to be able to contest anything coming here. I think they can, I'm pretty sure these ticks can cross this water though. Let me double check. Ooh. So the ticks can't cross the water there. They'd need to run all the way down here. There's a few little random spots, but the ticks are going to be able to provide enough vision for him to know that there probably isn't a commander that spawned here, so he'll have a little bit more time to get ready and get everything moving. We've got the starting grunts out from Therxyy and Therxyy, and they are, oh, they're not going to see these ticks here. Oh, no, they do see it. Raigeki with the ping. So now we're going to have some grunts chasing some ticks all across the map. On the bottom here, random variable is going to run into Austin's ticks that just came out, and Austin is going to pick off 1 with some flanking damage, and then he's going to have to back up, but we already see the first Centurion dropping here. Blxssom wants to flex over a bit, but tons of pressure. rovers out for Raigeki, and he's gonna push these ticks back. So as soon as they see that, it looks like Blxssom wants to bring his ticks over to contest with Austin. Ooh, can they get this around? The ticks fighting the rovers on the flat ground is going to be very, very difficult, especially as more grunts come in to support, because grunts are going to be able to fight all of those. But ooh, StudentOfTeriyaki sneaks in a few ticks here. Raigeki is going to flex his own rovers over. Maybe they can get this max. No. But good attempt, and first Centurion is on the field, so as long as Austin doesn't get it degunned, we should be relatively okay. And Conquer with the early East are probably assuming that there's going to be a forward lab, and he wants to be able to just walk at it and degun, and he's got sense of his own. But Blxssom has an ever increasing army of ticks. Oh, and they're going to run into these rovers and loses a few rovers. They're still kind of jockeying for position, but once the blitz is there, he knows it's time to back off. Thug versus Scent. So the thugs, especially with the high ground, are going to be able to outrange it. Austin might need to do some kind of rocket bot transition or similar to actually make this work, assuming that random variable does have decent micro. So I like this from Devil. He's got the crossbow up here and ready in case there are comm drops or anything else. And Conquer has made it to dry land, but in terms of overall map control, we can see that just with how things are going, they're able to rat out a little bit more of an economic advantage just through captured mexes. So Germany is slightly ahead, and we're going to see some sense in mid versus Therxyy. Just going to try to get into position to degun these, but StudentOfTeriyaki is not going to let that happen, or is he? Oh. Nope, not quite. On the bottom, Thug versus Sense. Austin's bringing the commander for OP repairs. Random variable is going to do the same, but especially with this Thug range, it's going to be pretty difficult. Austin's going to have to either rely on a superior micro or bring rocket bots of his own. And in mid, Raigeki, standard Janus, stout, and he's going to start pressuring all of these. Looks like he hasn't lost a cent yet. They did kill one thug, and he's backfilling these, but random variable does have that 4.0 max, and I Will Conquer hasn't taken it on his side yet. Looks like there's going to be a beamer going down, and these two commanders are going to walk into each other and say hello. He saw the beamer going down, but he didn't want to run at it and try to degun. Doesn't want to take the damage on his comm yet. Oh, and we see 1 cent go down. Well, we've got a little bit of a repair war here. But I think Austin is ever so slow. Oh, actually, with the thugs here, I don't know if Austin's going to be able to make this work. If he can get a little closer and maybe degun, we'll see. But it is a tense battle here. Therxyy is going to drop LLTs in mid, and Raigeki closing in on the rocket bots in mid. We're going to see a few Janus fire off. Blxssom brought some supporting pawns here, but if we just zoom back out, we can see that they're still riding the metal advantage, but Team USA with their wind farms specifically are pulling slightly ahead in energy, in part because the wind is peaked. But aside from that, relatively equal game so far. And this battle up top with I Will Conquer looking pretty good. He swapped from Sense to rocket bots just to chip away at the thugs via the outrange. And StudentOfTeriyaki, I think he was maybe trying to sneak a degun in there, but his commander is going to go down. There is a raiding path here though for him, but I don't think he's gonna be able to get up and get really anything done there. Centurions and pawns already flexing down while Raigeki continues to fight in mid. These rocket bots from Blxssom are doing a ton of work. They're shooting at these LLTs and slowly ripping apart the front of Raigeki. Austin random variable, they're just living their best life. This is classic T1 bar micro. Resbots repair, but it looks like Austin is able to very slowly push him back. And Raigeki still doing a bit of damage on this side. Therxyy eats that entire column and is going to start eating a lot of these wrecks, which probably should give Team USA a little bit of an advantage in terms of metal produced. 27 to 26, so not that big, but that energy difference is a little bit more substantial in terms of total production. So it looks like Austin is going to push a random variable off the 4.0 mechs, which is a little concerning. And oh, channel. Let him cook. Let him cook. Devo with the gauntlet. That's actually in range of the lab and I think some of the BP. So Conquer would be concerned if that wasn't 1,200 metal spent in units that are just going to die to rocket bots. Unfortunately, gauntlets, they suffer from the run at him strategy, but it was I like the idea. I like the idea. Maybe a high ground one could have been a little bit better. There is such a massive wreck field here, 2.5, and Conquer's going to start eating it. I don't think he's dropping any res bots. He's just going to slurp it up with his commander and go from there. And a random variable sneaks in a grunt. Looks like there was some damage here that I missed, but the rest of that is going to get picked apart, and mid has remained relatively stagnant. Therxyy isn't able to hold that 4.0 max, but he did a frontline vehicle lab transition, so we're going to see a lot of brutes in mid, and once those numbers are big enough, they'll be able to contest the rocket bots. But oh, he's going to run them into pawns and a beamer. That is actually a little scary. Pawns, if they get this around, can do decently well until the brute numbers get excessive. And Austin has made it all the way here. And is this a capture? Oh, Austin. He was capturing it, but he ended up killing it himself. So bottom has been won for Team USA. We do see a Banshee transition. Can he snipe this? Conquer has E-Store though. I think he should be able to cloak and walk away. Is there radar? Yeah, so Conquer's gonna cloak. There is radar here that sees him, and he is repairing. And then there are some AA bots, so Banshees are going to have to back away. They're not going to be able to do enough damage here. Blxssom, also with the Banshee transition, is going to try to snipe something. Raigeki already has AA down, though. He's going to go for Raigeki's calm. Raigeki sees it. He hasn't cloaked. There we go. He's going to cloak now. And Banshees are going to kill a couple of the nettles. Raigeki does not have E-Stores, so he can't be down for that long, but I think it's going to be enough to push back. And Austin, in response, drops the air lab, and it's going to start sending fighters out. We do see a bombing run up on top from Devo, and he gets a few wind. Fortunately, there's already things here. We see the resign vote out, and it looks like Team Germany is going to call it. They did have that air transition, but it wasn't quite enough to overcome America's land advantage on the top and bottom lanes, even though mid was a little bit stagnant. So America is going to take the game versus Germany.